Hi, Luxees. Welcome back to the Luxury Live Show. I'm your host, Amy, and I have my co-host, Kat L. We do this every
Hi.
Friday, and we alternate
Saturday.
between our channels. This is a live stream that, wow, we've been doing for like 4 years now, right?
Hasn't been, no, it's not. Okay.
I I mean, we've started during the pandemic.
Yeah. So 2020.
2020, 21, 22, 24.
So this is the fourth year, right? So in
Yeah, we're
total,
going on to our
food.
fourth year. It's kind of
Yeah, yeah.
crazy, right? I
Crazy,
mean, just
yeah.
to think about it. Anyway, so today's a fun topic that both Kat and I have kind of already done video on our channels, but we selected our worst duds, and then we're going to talk about it. So please feel free yourself as well in the comment chat section to share your worst duds with us. And that is not without the lack of trying, like for me, I like the way that I deem them the worst, right, is that I really tried. Like I had the intention of getting these things. I've kind of had my mind um obsessed about them for a while, and then finally got it, so excited, right? And then it didn't seem to have worked right away, but you never know until you give it more of a chance and like really trying. So these items I've actually kept for a while and really tried, but in the end it didn't work out. So that's how I defined my worst duds. Mine are in a slide. So I'll show my first one and then we'll alternate. I think it's fun that way. We'll alternate between me and Kat. I think Kat has some show and tell. Mine are all in slides because, well, obviously I don't have these items anymore. But yes, please feel free to share yours as well, guys. And yeah, let's get started. My first one. This was also on the thumbnail. Oh my gosh. Can you guys please let me know in the chat section how long you've been following us? Especially me, like I was lusting about this bag for so long. And okay, so here's the story, right? Like when I was just getting into Chanel, everyone was talking about, oh, black caviar. You need to get caviar and it has to be black. And at the time, this was 2016. I had to check on my Instagram to make sure I got the dates right. So I bought this boy bag, small size, in 2016. And I've been trying so hard to get this bag for the longest time. It felt like years. Anyway, it probably wasn't a years, but it felt like a long time. It probably was more like months, like seasons after seasons. There was no stock. It was always sold out because the black one with the gold hardware was always the one that sold out all the time. Actually, mine is not gold hardware, it's ruthenium. It just looks gold here. Anyway, so finally, after several attempts, I'm pretty sure this bag was my first in-store purchase, because all the other ones that I had before, which was well, there was a reissue a long time ago. That was in-store as well, but that almost doesn't count. It's too long ago, like 10 years before that. And then there was the jumbo that was pre-loved. So I think this was literally my first in-store retail purchase from my local boutique. And I've been harassing my SA for like a long time. Every season, finally got it. I don't know if you guys remember, even Kat has a video on how much she loved her boy bag. The boy bag was all the rage back then. So finally I got it, right? And I wore it, but I didn't vibe with it right away. I definitely found it a bit more boyish, a little bit too edgy. There was a lot of noise with the chain and the bag sliding. Those were the first things that I noticed at first, but I'm like, I was so, kind of inundated with my own obsession with the bag that it didn't matter. I'm like, you know what? It's I just need to get used to it. And ever since then, every time I try to reach for it and try to style the bag, every time I would kind of put it back. It's sort of that thing where you're like, oh, maybe not this outfit, maybe not, maybe like there's a lot of trial and error in terms of like trying to reach for the bag, but then never really ended up reaching for it. Like sometimes I did make the effort to like force myself to use it, but eventually, most of the times I always just kind of like, ah, no, maybe not today, maybe not today, maybe not today. And then I kept this bag for months until one day I realized, you know what, the reason why I probably don't reach for it is because it's really not for me. There was many things that didn't jive with me. The sliding thing didn't jive with me, the bag sliding. And then we'll ask Kat if she found that to be a problem for her because she loved hers. The other thing that I didn't realize, of course, without having the bag until I had it, is that the bag tends to deflate whenever you close it. It kind of like squishes together, and I didn't love that. I thought that it was going to be structured, which it was, but it was also kind of squishy this way, so the bottom tends to kind of bulge out and then squish down, and I didn't love that. And ultimately, I think the style was just too boyish for me. So it wasn't without trying, okay? I did try. I tried so hard, and in the end, I was disappointed. And yeah, I sold it eventually. But it was a heartbreak because I felt like I worked so hard to finally get it, and only to realize that it was a complete dud. That was one of my first experiences with one of my first finished Chanel bags. Anyway, what do you think?
Well, I think I mean I agree with what you said. It is a very boyish look, and it's a style that is it's edgy, right? It's edgy. It's really a I think they made it quite a unisex, right? So you expect guys to wear it as well. So if anything's out of the like a little bit off, it's harder to wear. It's just that kind of, it stands out, right? It's boxy, it juts out from your body. So I think if you have even, a little bit more dressier outfit, it can be like a sore thumb.
That was the
So for
problem
me,
with me.
yeah,
It's not that I'm always dressy, but I tend to prefer looking a bit more dressy. And I definitely more feminine and more dressy. That's kind of where I lean towards. Not that I'm not ever casual, but yeah, that was
there is that look, right? I mean, you could still go all out and wear a girly dress and wear this. It's still a look, but it will stand out differently because it's a mismatch kind of look. And then if you don't like it, then you won't like it. So for me, I loved it because I was always in sportier clothes. I hardly wear dresses, and it just seemed to fit my style then. And I did like boxier bags. So I think it's definitely either you like it or you don't like it. It's a little bit hard to be in between for this bag because I mean, look at it. It's very
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, but it's also very like
it has its rough edges.
Yeah, it's got its roughness to it, right? It's not pretty. It's not a pretty bag. I'm not looking at it. It doesn't look at me. Oh my god, it's so pretty. It doesn't give me that at all.
Well, that's the thing. Obviously, it was one of my first bags in my Chanel journey. It was literally one of like my first purchase after a long time, right? And it took me several tries to really figure out my style and to also realize that even this size, like this was I think it was called the small back then, or was it called a medium? Maybe it was called a medium back then because there was like
called the old medium.
New medium. So this was actually not that small to begin with. And at the time I was like, you know what? It's also an awkward size for me. I think that is why it juts out too, because again, if you're not really gonna wear this, if I'm gonna wear this more feminine, then I would wear it kind of higher, right, doubled up, and that also didn't work at all. Like it was just not, it didn't have the classic flap look, obviously, and I didn't know that at the time. It was still my experimental phase, you could call it. It was so early on, right? And obviously, this bag is still around as one of the most kind of coveted, famous bags that Carl has ever created. And yeah, I mean, anyway, that became my worst stud because of that reason. And It was, yeah, it was so bad that I even had a whole video where I felt like I had to explain to the world, why didn't I keep it? Because like literally I felt so bad for myself and for, hyping it up for myself. And then just in the end, not working out at all. It was definitely not my style. Like now I know for sure, whenever I see something like this, I'm like, no, yeah, it's nice, but not for me. But back then I didn't know. Yeah.
Good
Okay,
one.
let you share yours now, and then we'll alternate. We'll come back to the slides later.
Okay. Okay, so I have spoken about this dud, and I did my video on like, gambled on these items. So same as Amy, these are things that I have either been eyeing or thought about, sort of like imagined it in my head and said, what, I think because everybody loves it, and I, sort of convincing myself that it would suit me, I ended up buying this one item. Okay, I'm gonna show it shortly. And I even did some videos on it and said, you know what? Not sure why everybody likes this item. And I did get some hate from that video, like you're not using it right and all that stuff. So, but now here I am today, still having it. And I said, you know what? I actually think this is a great item. However, the item is not that great anymore. So it's still a dud. Okay, let me show you what it is. What the heck is she talking about? I am talking about my walk. Have a look at this walk. Okay, so the story is, when I first got this, I got this in Monaco. I was there for work.
Can I just say that it seemed like it got even worse this time? This time that I see it, it looks
getting more
different
It's
than
getting
last
more
time.
Dudley. It's getting
Oh my
even more
gosh.
Dudley.
Oh,
Okay,
Dudley, that's a good one.
Yeah, right, Dudley. When I first bought it, it was this color. See this color here?
Oh my
This color
god!
here?
Now it's like my top. It's like my green top.
See? Can you see the undertone of this? Okay, so it's like this beautiful turquoise green, turquoise blue, and it's so pretty. So when I got it, I thought, oh my gosh, everybody was loving the walk. The walk's the best thing in the world. And I bought it. So I bought it. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna use it. Everybody thinks you can put everything inside. But I couldn't. Why? It was in a time where we still carried our wallets, our handphones were bigger, we had to carry many other things. There was no digital cards, nothing, right? So I was like a bit bewildered. Like, why am I not being able to enjoy this walk as much as other people? Because it just seems so good, right? The other problem that I had with it was the button closure. I was like, my goodness, it is the most annoying thing ever. So, okay, end up, I did not really use it. But because I love the color so much, I thought, I'll keep it like a wallet. I'll keep it within my bag. Now, fast forward to today, I'm like, ooh, walks make sense right now because I don't carry wallets anymore. My handphone has everything, and my handphone has shrunk. Everything's in my watch. Now I even bought another walk, right? I have my Chanel walk. But before I bought that walk, I actually took this walk out, and I'm like, oh, what happened? What happened to you? Wow. So it has to be one of my worst purchases ever because it's just horrific. Look at it. But of course, it can be salvaged, right? I can send this for recoloring and make it all black. And then maybe when we do another Dudley video, I'll say like, well, it's not a dud anymore. It can. I'm just keeping it because it's a reminder for me never to buy patent again. Never. Unless you're buying black patent. But even if you're buying black patent leather, it gets a little sticky. I'm quite happy or thankful, not happy, thankful that it's not that bad. There is a little bit of that stickiness, but it's negligible, right? So I think I I think there could be worse stickiness on some of those patent leathers, but maybe because the way I keep it, even though the color is just terrible, the leather is still okay. So anyway, dud, definitely a dud.
Oh my gosh. You know, it's like I almost wonder why any fashion house would make anything in patent that is color, because they know, and we all know, that they will change color. I don't know under what circumstances they wouldn't. Maybe. Okay, only maybe. Because you know what? I do have
Not
some
like
patent.
bi-color. You're right. Bi-color bag.
But you know, I do have some patented material items that I really enjoy, mainly my Jimmy shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, those are black, I guess. But I could also imagine, because those shoes are made in many different colors, right? They have beige, they have like a white, and they have colors too. But I could also imagine you buying in beige and it wouldn't look like that in many years. Like, does that make sense? So I'm almost wondering why, and Chanel of all fashion house, make such a vibrant patented color, but knowing that it would change that much. Like, okay, maybe if it changes, yeah, maybe if it's like darkens a little bit or lightens a little bit, that's okay, right? We're not talking about literally changing color to
Yeah.
green, you know?
I think the
Um,
only colors you could get in patent leather is white, probably. Beige is okay. Black, obviously. But any color that could turn a little different, like red. Red, I've seen red, like suddenly the color of red, like the black of the red is sort of like, maybe the mixture comes out, so the blackness comes out from the red, so it's like darkened. Blue, green, maybe yellow would be okay. I don't know.
yeah, who
Yeah,
knows?
maybe
Is it gonna turn
yellow.
orange? But maybe that's the
Is it
thing.
gonna,
Like,
yeah, is it
I
gonna
was
turn orange
thinking,
or
like,
is it gonna lighten? Like
well,
become white patches?
well, if it lightens or darkens, as long as it's still in the same shade family, that would still be acceptable, you know?
True.
Like, I just, yeah, it's such a misnomer, that one. Wow. Oh
Yeah,
my
it is
God.
the walk again. I mean, I could, like, I really could just bring it to the store and just get it all colored in black. But I've already bought my own black walk, so maybe it'll get so bad. Like, it will get so bad. I mean, it's one of those colors that is just every time I pull it out, it's like a little darker, right? So maybe it will get so dark that it'll be like dark green or something. I'll be like, ooh, you actually look good now. We'll just wait for that day to happen.
Can I just ask out of curiosity, when did you buy this one and how much was it back then? At least, I mean, that part will be less hurtful because I know now walks are like
Oh,
$5,000, but
no,
back
it
then,
was cheap. It
uh-huh.
was maybe €1,000.
Okay.
It was low. I mean, it was in 20. I think it was in 2015. So
Yeah,
it's been a
okay.
while. Okay. So,
Yeah,
I bought
9
it.
years
Yeah,
it
but
will become like that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is always a funny one. Whenever you pull that out, it's like, wow.
I know, right? Jeez. Anyway,
Okay, thanks.
but one more thing. But hang on. I'll just add to that, huh? So besides the color, I mean, if you ignore the color, it's actually really well made. Like, it still has leather interior. Nowadays, the walks are. Oh no, sorry. Oh no. Okay, only the inside here is leather interior, but it's actually really well made. Like, the stitchings are really good. It's all aligned. Yeah, but it's only the color. So sad. So sad.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's actually really funny. All right, my next one. again, we're talking about our worst duds that we really tried. Okay. Wow. This was another one. So, you know what? I don't remember the year. I think it was 2017, or it could be
Should
16
be.
as well. Anyway, it was still early on my Chanel journey. And obviously, that was also still the time when big bags were kind of
Mm,
in. And a lot of people were unboxing the Deauville. I remember I watched so many, but for sure, Christina Brawley was one of them that kind of influenced me because obviously I love watching her videos, her bag videos at the time. They were always they always influenced me. I guess maybe in a bad way because it never worked out for me. But that's beside the point. Anyway, the Deauville was so in at the time. It was such a trend. And even though the Deauville is supposed to be a beach bag, right? It's now they put it in the shopping bag section. Whenever you go to the Chanel website, it's like in the shopping bag section. But back then it's considered a bag that you would take to the beach and kind of like your weekend bag. But everyone was buying it for their work. Everyone was just like using it kind of casually. And that was the idea I had too. Whenever I imagined it, right? Whenever I saw it online, people unboxing it, talking about it, people putting it on their Instagram, I just imagined it to be like that perfect large bag that I had. Because I don't really like large bags that much. Again, I only have not even like a whole 5-digit number of big bags in my collection in total. Like in my entire life, I've only had mostly small bags. So this was a big step for me to really like I tried so hard to get it. Again, the Deauville was also not an easy bag to get at the time. At the time, oh my gosh, again, I think this was 2017, right? Maybe late 2016. All of these Chanel bags were very hard to get. So when I eventually was able to get this one, and again, this one was also transferred from another store within Canada. So it was not even a direct purchase from my local boutique. I actually had to call other stores within Canada to see if they would sell it to me. And yeah, I bought it through the phone and they transferred it over to my store for me to pick it up. I was so excited for it. First of all, this was in full denim. And even though I don't normally like orange, but for some reason the orange font on this denim was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And you can see how proud I am wearing this this bag, right? Like trying to style it with my casual bomber jacket. I really liked it. The thing is, it's the same story. Every time I would to try to take it out, wear it, like I'm decided to wear it right that day. I put my things in it, which doesn't amount to very much. I always kind of carry the same amount. And even if I try to put extra things like an extra jacket or an extra, I don't know, scarf, whatever, it doesn't really fill up the bag. So that was one of the main issues is that it's always kind of empty inside and things would just float literally. Um, then I tried maybe I just need pouches, right, to organize my things inside. But then I'm literally carrying pouches inside these bags, and it kind of defeats the purpose of like why do I need a big bag? I could just use a smaller bag for that. And then I tried to maybe, okay, you know what? I'll try to carry more things. It's my big bag, right? I'm supposed to use it for when I run like real errands. Then it became so heavy. And I was never satisfied with it, even though I loved the look of it. And also keep in mind at the time, I didn't even bother buying an organizer because I thought, you know what, the weight is an issue for me. I don't want to even add more weight to it. So it wasn't even the fact that I had an organizer and all this stuff inside. That's what made it heavy. No, it wasn't. It's just the fact that it's a bigger bag. So if you fit more things, it'll just be heavy, right? So
mhm.
it wasn't without trying. I kept it for, wow, I don't know if it was a year or slightly less. But eventually I knew I had to rehome it because I was just like, you know what? It's never going to work out. It's a few $1,000s sitting, like never being used. And every time I use it, I just don't feel happy. Like it's not something
Mm,
that brings me joy. And why why do I feel that way when I'm so obsessed about this bag, right? Yeah. Also, the thing that made me buy this size versus even the small, because there were smaller sizes. There was the size down with just a chain, and then there was like kind of like a really small tiny tote, which is kind of square-ish. But I like the fact that this one had the top handle. That's why I went for this size. Anyway, now they have the new Deauville size, which is like quite more petite than this one. This was really like a travel bag size. It's bigger than the Neverfull. So I realized then and there that wow, I really do not suit big bags. Even when the bag itself was light, because on its own, it was light, right? Just some denim material, a chain here and there, no, not really that much leather except the top handle. So it wasn't like a very heavy bag to begin with, but just the fact that it was big and you need to fill the space, you need to, otherwise it'll just float. Then it becomes heavy and bulky and useless. I know you have this bag too. I think you bought it shortly after me. And
I did. You
it didn't work
definitely
out.
influenced me. I was like, when I saw
Oh
this,
my
I was like, oh,
gosh.
I love this color. But it was already sold out here in
Yeah.
Singapore. So I got a different version. But whatever you said about it floating, big size, and why you got this size instead of the smaller size is exactly what I went through as well. Because I love the construction. The top handle with the strap was just, it's like, mwah, chef's kiss. But yeah, it was just too big. It overwhelmed my frame. And I felt like I was trying to find a purpose for the bag every time I tried to use it. So yeah, it was also one of my kind of like duds as well. Not the worst, because I think I see the potential in the bag, but it's just that I didn't have the lifestyle for it. Meaning I don't go traveling. I was just working, and if I tried to use it for travel between work, my laptop was floating inside it. So yeah, I had inspirational ideas for it, but I just didn't have that life at that time. So maybe this is a bag for me when I'm retired and just chilling out and carrying my things in my car and going for holidays. Yes. But now it's just, yeah, up to today, it would still be sitting in my cupboard because I don't go holidays. I don't travel.
Yeah, for me, duds also means that I had the highest expectation and like the highest hopes, but when it came to reality, it was literally the lowest of low. Like that
Yeah.
was the reason why it became a dud, because if I wasn't sure to begin with, but I gave it a chance and it either worked out or did not, then my expectation, like that gap didn't go that big and it doesn't make me feel more like emotionally this bag drained me. Basically, it literally, like I was like so happy I finally got it and also had all these ideas for it, but try, fail, and then it's like, okay, well now I have to give up, right? It was a good learning experience. Now if I asked you, because now big bags are back, right? If you had this bag still, um do you think you would use it more? Actually, not just use it more. Do you think you'll like love it now, Because big bags are back.
No, I think it's still too big.
Mm,
I think if I had the size that's currently now,
yeah.
the the new small, I guess, which is
Yeah.
slightly, oh, the new large, maybe this is extra large, like the new large, I think I would use it because that size is manageable. This one looked as if I could cover my entire torso in it. And it serves a purpose, right? It's for you to put big jackets, towels, your beach ball. But
Yeah.
I could put my dog in it,
Yeah, same idea. The same. For me, I feel like even if I had this bag today And even let's say I'm retired and I'm gonna be a travel the world kind of type of person, right? And I can afford to use these kinds of big bags, right? I would still not because it's wide open and it's really, yeah, it's just meant for the beach. And it's like your bougie, literally put towels kind of thing inside bag if you don't mind getting it wet type of thing. It's like
Mm,
that. And I don't have that lifestyle. Like, it's not that I don't like going to the beach. When I go to Hawaii, I will go to the beach, but we'll go once in the entire trip. I'm not like a beach, I don't frequent the beach every day type of person. I'll go as that excursion that day, but it's not like I'm like a beach buddy person, right? So
mhm.
I don't even have that lifestyle. And even if I were to take it on the plane, I feel like things will just fall off. So yeah, even today, if I had this bag, it would be no use. And therefore made it into my duds, my worst duds. It's still a
Okay.
looker though. It's such a looker. I really love looking at it. But I'm glad that they now have the Chanel 22, which is a totally different bag and totally much better
Mm.
rendition of a larger everyday size bag. So yeah, I'm glad they did that. All right. Moving on to you. Your
So
next
this is
one.
another item that I bought in Monaco as well, but and this was actually a surprise purchase. But I've shown it many times, but I have to show it again because it's definitely the worst dud, one of the worst duds that I have. And this is one of those items that again many people love. The one that I remember who had a lot of these was Caris. It just looks so good. And when I needed this item in Monaco, I went straight to that store. It was like the first item. I said, okay, that I know I'm gonna get this because I've been thinking about it. I'm seeing a lot of YouTubers talk about it. It seems to be really comfy. Bought it, tore a hole in my heel, nearly killed
I know
me.
what it is. I almost put those ones, but it wasn't my worst.
It is the worst pair of shoes ever, ever. And again, like you know, this is not without trying. Okay, firstly, when I got this, it was okay. It's a beautiful like bronzy pattern. No, not pattern. Leather um, material. It's leather, and then it has this beautiful gold, champagne gold spikes. Flats. Oh my goodness, this pair of shoes, I had to buy it on a whim because we had a dinner and that night I can't remember what happened to my other shoes that I brought, but I think it broke or something. So I had to rush out and buy another pair. I decided on these. I didn't walk to any Jimmy Choo stores. I just went, I said, oh my gosh, I think I want to get this one because everybody's been talking about it. And in my head, I was like, okay, flats, I can wear it for work. It's comfy. And I tried it in the store. When you try in the store, like my other dud video, you wear it only for that moment in time, right? You don't go walking half an hour in the store, right? You just wear it for a little bit and they fit my foot like a glove. Like, look at this. It goes in, it's slim. And I thought, wow, now I know why people love it. Bought it, wore it for this whole event at night. I could hardly walk because this part of the heel was just like gripping me like this, and I was getting blisters all around here. I was like, I'm dying. I can't wait to go back to the hotel. So I said, you know what? Maybe because I need to break them in. So it's my fault. It's been years. I still have not broken into these shoes. Why? I can't soften the leather. You know when you wear the shoes and you try to like make it like step. Look at how hard it is. I try to step on the leather to soften it. I can't because every time I step on the leather, the spikes kind of poke my heel. So I cannot even do this because these spikes, they're dangerous. They'll kill you. Okay. And then, and then as I walk, right, I walk because I don't have the most perfect model walk. occasionally I'll have one foot that goes a little bit like this, and as I'm walking, the spikes hit my ankle. I'm like, I hurt myself with these shoes, like kapow. I'm like, ah, and I'm bleeding in my ankle. I'm like, okay, that's it. That's it. Even though I'm wearing them at home, wow, what a dud. Okay, what a dud that only you will know once you have them in your possession and you just wear them. And was this pre-knee surgery? Okay, I think it was just after my knee. Okay, so it was after my knee surgery. So I had my knee surgery already. But let me think about it. 20. No, I think it was before my knee surgery. So I bought these shoes first, and then later on, obviously, that I already had my surgery. So I just couldn't wear it anymore. It was worse. It became even worse. Nothing I can do about them except have them and complain about them and warn you, don't buy shoes with these kind of funky. They look beautiful, but
I think you should sell those, babe, because no, someone will buy it. Like, put it in a consignment store. It's not going to get much, but you're not going to wear it anyway, right? And the thing is with shoes, I really, obviously, with shoes, we always have to learn it the hard way.
Maybe I should just put it at my carousel. $20. Come and
Not
get them. Then somebody asked me, are
I'm
they
sure
fake?
someone will buy it. Like, someone will be looking for these shoes, and it's a used shoe, so yeah, put a discount, but like not $20. Anyway, my point is, I find that with shoes, it's not that you have to break them in or anything. Like, the shoes that you break in and they work, they still fit you in a way. It's probably just that the material is still new and stiff. But really, the way they design shoes is for a particular model of feet. So if that company or that designer tends to use, I don't know, European feet, I don't know, like, it's like, just I feel like the French shoes, especially Chanel, let's say Chanel, right? They tend to be a lot more narrow. Like, the feet is long and narrow, and when Asians buy Chanel shoes, they usually have to go with the size C, which is their wide, which is not that wide, to be honest, like, so normal feet. Because I think especially a lot of Asian people have more of a flatter profile. Their feet are not necessarily wide, not all the time, but they have more of a flat, like my feet are more flat, right? So automatically there are going to be shoes where it's just going to collapse it in and it's not going to look good. So yeah, I think designer shoes, or just shoes in general, they are so specific to which model of feet they use. And if that's not more close to your type of feet, it won't work. Because yeah, like, I'm looking at all the shoes I have around, and it's just like, some of them work, some of them just don't, even if it's from the same brand. And it's just the way, it's kind of like, clothes. How pants, especially for ladies, right? Pants, oh my gosh, we have all kinds of different lady hips, right? I have no hips. Some people have perfect hourglass hips. Some people have very large hips. And it's like, everyone, like, there's no way to one size fit all. And I think shoes are exactly the same way. There's no one size fit all. And I feel like someone will look for these shoes, especially if it's on sale, they'll buy it. Because for you, I feel like they
I
serve
will put it on my carousel today, and I'll say,
just put it on your
"Come and get
carousel and
them."
just sell it. Just stop looking at them, because you're never gonna wear them anyway.
I love looking at them. I love like, oh, what a monster you are.
Yeah, get something back. I feel like that's what I try to do anyway. Like, with a lot of my I know that especially clothes and shoes, they're not the easiest to rehome. So I literally just send them to a consignment store. They're just local. You will not get much back, but they'll sell it. Someone will buy it, and then you'll get a portion of the money back, and you just forget about them. But at least it's gone. It's not taking up space from your closet, and that's what I would do. Hi, Shiza. Okay, let's move to my next one. Oh my God. I really tried. Okay, guys, I really tried. So this is the Louis Vuitton Speedy 25. Okay, so I had I have such a love-hate relationship with the Speedy. But okay, first of all, I actually had a Speedy 30 a long time ago. That was pre-YouTube. That was like in 2008, I think. I had a Speedy 30. And you know what? At the time, I actually enjoyed the Speedy 30. Not like super love or anything, but I did enjoy it because it was one of my first, it was literally my first higher end luxury bag. It was the first time that I walked into an LV and I said, okay, let's buy a Speedy. Actually, you know what? I misremembered. I think I bought the Alma before that, but the Speedy followed shortly after, and I actually really used the Speedy versus the Alma I didn't really use. So that was my first experience with the Speedy. It was the 30 regular, no strap. At the time, they didn't have that version yet. And I kind of enjoyed it. It was sort of like that slouchy, bigger size with a branding. And I used it for a while, and then I think eventually I sold it because the Speedy 25 came out, right? And the first Speedy 25 that I bought was the Damier Ben. If I remember correctly, my first Speedy 30 was also in Damier Ben. So it was the dark chocolate checkered color. And I was definitely pretty much mostly influenced by Jerusha at the time. She raved about her Speedy 25 in the Bandoulière. And that's what got me to buy that size and to change into that design because I liked the idea of the extra strap. That's why I sold the first one and bought the new version. I really tried that bag. I didn't really like dislike it, but I definitely every time I use it, I have like my thoughts are literally bouncing between, oh, I love you, oh, I hate you, oh, I love you, oh, I hate you. It's like literally I have moments where I'm like, oh, this bag is so cool, like it's so in trend and it fits so much and it has hand carry, it has strap and it's kind of light. But the hate part is, oh my gosh, every time I need to find anything, it's, oh goodness, I could not find what I needed to find because it was all basically mixed up inside. It was a black hole. Also, eventually I found it to be a bit heavy and I thought, you know what, maybe it's because of the Damier Ben strap being a bit tougher. The leather on that is a little bit more stiff and kind of has edges that are sharp. So, you know, I had my Speedy in Damier Ben for like, I actually don't remember how long. I think maybe a couple of years. And then I decided to, you know what, I'm going to rehome it because I want to buy the monogram version. I feel like the monogram will be my true answer to like, you know, it will be the perfect one this time. So I bought this one. I found it in Europe. And actually, I bought it in Europe. It was like, you know, perfect purchase to remember the trip by as well, right? So obviously I was still excited about the bag because the idea of me having this is still the same, but I thought maybe, okay, the strap is kind of stiff, so maybe vachetta will be better, which was, but yeah, the same problem with reaching in and out. I just didn't love it. And eventually it was too big still. The 25 size was still too big. And I think it's not a question of big or small either. It's also the opening. It's a big bag with a small constricting opening, which really drives me crazy. I think that is the reason why no matter what size Speedy, in the end, it never worked. And it's a kind of like a battle of the century because I've had this bag for like, I mean, several different ones, but I've tried this bag since 2008 and up till today, even with the nano size. I have a love-hate relationship with it. I like literally cannot get over the fact that I love it, but I hate it at the same time. So yeah, this one I really tried. Okay, one of the most tried, and like literally I have just ups and downs with this, and yeah, could never it could never be a happy ending with this bag.
Yeah, it's one of those shapes that it's so practical. You can put a lot of things inside, but because of that, it's just quote unquote difficult to use. You know, like you don't you if you had compartments, it had that then you'll be like, oh, it lack the space, or you had to adjust it. The fact that it is in this shape makes it easy, but also at the other end, it's hard. So I get what you mean.
I don't know if anybody agrees with me because I feel like I'm the only one who complains about love-hate relationship with the Speedy because like I said, I feel like I battle with this bag for nearly 20 years now. Not quite, but you know, a long time. I've been trying for a long time to make this work. I honestly think that you have to have such a casual personality that you really don't
Yeah.
mind that everything is like in disorder inside and that you don't have a care in the world that someone has to wait for you to grab that one thing or that you need to find that one thing in your bag. Like you have to have that kind of personality. For me, I'm not. I just, oh my God, it drove me crazy. It's not that I'm like a super organized type A personality either. I just am kind of in between where I need to know where my things are. I want to be able to relatively easy find them. I'm okay with downsizing and not taking certain things with me. I'm actually okay with all of that. I'm not okay with not being able to find it though. Like that's the thing. I will be compromising in certain areas that I find okay to compromise, and certain areas I just never could adjust. And yeah, that will something I found out through again the hard way through several speedies later, like my fourth one now, that I just realized I should not keep buying speedies. Like speedies and me is like we are over. There's no more speedy in my life. Don't ever catch me buying like this kind of duffel shaped bag because oh my gosh,
Mm-mm.
it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
Oh, please let me know if you guys ever feel that way because I feel like I'm the only one that complains about this speedy. Oh gosh.
Okay, let me do mine. But this one I don't have with me now. I still, as in, I have this bag, I just don't have it with me. So I managed to find a picture of it. So let me share my screen. If I can share my screen, hang on. How come I can't share my screen?
Oh, is it because I have mine? No, I think here. Can you try now? Let's see. Stop screen. Can you share it now?
Okay, yep. Okay. It is my Celine. This is micro. So, but this is I have the mini version. So this micro version is a smaller, it's like 1 or 2 seasons after I got mine. So mine was the mini luggage. But if you have seen the mini luggage in the past, you know it's a pretty big bag. It's like a wide base, wide bag with this huge ears that are coming out. Now, I would say it's not my. It's like it's pretty up there in terms of DUDS, right? I lusted over this bag for the longest time, and I bought this when I was in Paris with my husband and my best friend. We were there for like a 3-country trip. And I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go there. I was hyping myself up to buy this bag. And when I got it, it was obviously during the time where the big bag trend was super high, right? Super just crazy. Everybody's just big bags. And it didn't even, maybe I was younger as well, so it didn't even occur to me that this bag was freaking heavy. It just, at that time, it didn't even, I picked it out, I was like, oh, but it never said, oh my gosh, like if today I pick that bag out, I'll be like, you crazy? But then I picked it up, I was like, okay, it's full leather, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I hardly used it. I mean, I used it for work and everything, but I felt like I was lugging not only this heavier bag, but this just so many things that I had to I would put inside. it felt like I was carrying 10 kilos in my hand. I used it for a bit, but I ended up just finding it harder and harder to use. Because of the size, the base was really big. If I didn't fill it up, my things would be floating. My laptop would be flipping back and forth. My notebook would be flipping back and forth. It's a little bit like the Speedy, right? If you don't fill it up enough, your thing is just rolling inside. But if you fill it up too much, it's just incredibly heavy. So I guess over a couple of years, or maybe a couple of years, I started to just stop using it, and now it's just sitting there. So in a way, it's a bit of a dud. It's quite a dud, okay, because it was expensive then. Celine was really, really expensive. Was one of the more expensive brands, and I had to lug it back from Europe, all of that. And now, to make it even more dudley, it's worth nothing, right? Nobody, it's the price is so bad. Celine bags just don't sell very well. I can't believe this is sold. Oh well, it's A grade though. A grade, A ranked A. Mine is obviously I used mine. I really used mine, and this one is the micro version. So this is better compared to mine. So anyway, yep.
You still have yours, right?
I still have it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have to agree about the point where it's even more deadly because they're worth nothing. Because I still have my Celine trapeze, and I don't have the bad experience relationship with that bag. I actually really like that bag. It's not the easiest to use, but it's not terrible. For me, it's not terrible. That one, and I also still find it very good looking. I actually still really like the way it styles and the way it looks and the way it carries. It's still quite easy. I love the big top handle. You just carry it and all. So I don't have that, like, I don't hate that bag at all. But I am really, really disappointed that it's literally worth like a few hundred only. If I ever just resell mine, which is still in pristine condition, I would fetch a few hundred, whereas I bought it for a few thousand, right? So
Correct.
it's like, how did a luxury bag, such a good luxury brand that is still quite popular these days, although they are changing all the time, I guess that's also one of the things that never stays, right? None of the designs are staying. That the value just like depreciates tenfold. It's like, what? That's just weird. And it's not that we buy things for their value necessarily, but you don't want to see any of your things depreciate that much. It's worse than a car. Like, it's kind of weird that it is like that. Anyway, yeah, I have to agree about the value, and then on top of that, if it didn't work out, then it's just
I guess it's one of those bags that you don't know, again, like when you start to use it, you're like, oh, it's kind of inconvenient, right? I mean, it was trendy. Those were the trendy bags then. And, I still love it. Like now, okay, so fast forward to today, when I look at it, I'm like, I can't get much back from you, but I think one day I will grab you again. It's got this, maybe it's going to be one of those bags that when you bring out, people are like, what? You still have this? What? I haven't seen this bag in 10 years. It's like, yeah. This is the robot bag. Well, I enjoy using it that time. I don't know lah, but I feel like I'm okay to keep it because firstly, it's no value, right? Literally.
Yeah, that one don't even try to
It could
sell
be one
it.
of those. One of those, if YouTube is still around, and then you go like, okay, here's my collection, and then you bring it out. People are like, oh, do they even still have this bag? Yes, I still have it.
I still have mine because it's literally no value to sell it. I might as well keep it. Literally.
Might as well keep it. Keep it, put it for groceries, take it out for a doggy event, kind of thing. I'll be like, put my dog in it.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay, so I have one last one, guys. And since you talked about patent,
Oh.
actually, I didn't know you were going to talk about patent, but I had to put this one in too because, yeah, this was definitely an influence purchase at the time. There was only a very few people that unboxed this bag, but I was attracted to it right away because I was like, you know what? It's kind of cute. And also, it had three different textures. It had monogram, it had EP leather, and it had the emboss vernis leather. So I was like, oh, you know what? I like it. It's kind of a different, kind of a modern take of an vintage style that they had brought back from their archive, but upgraded. They added the tasseled clochette, and then there was just a few upgrades on it, and I just really liked it. The price was so good too at the time. I I can't say that I hated the bag. It's not like that. It's more like I had all these, I got convinced basically. I got influenced. I got convinced that, you know what, this is gonna work for me because you know what, I'm a small bag person. Check. I'm a dressy person. Check. I like something that feels like good value. Like I think at the time this bag was like 2000 something. I believe it
Mm.
was, like good value check. And like it just felt like it checked all the boxes. And frankly speaking, it was not a bad bag at all. It wasn't. It even fit my large phone at the time vertically. It's so spacious. It was lightweight. It had an extra strap if you wanted to add it. But for some reason, maybe all those checked boxes, it was kind of like on the extreme. Like it was too dressy. It's almost like I could only wear this bag when I am actually dressy. So it was not really in between. There are some bags like the Chanel Classic Flap or the Chanel Flap, Mini Flap. You could wear it when you're super casual, you could wear it when you're super dressy. This one is literally just one extreme. You have to be more dressy. And with patent leather, it's also a bit more sensitive. Again, you have to be more mindful how you store it, how you use it, care for it, if you scratch it, or if you have any imprint of newspaper, magazine, whatever. Like all of those
Mm.
things, kind of made me feel like, oh, it's more burden than I ever would want to have. Even if I just kept it in my collection, I just felt like I had so many other bags that I could use instead that would work just equally as well, that are still dressy, that are still this and that I felt like this became kind of a redundant bag that I didn't really need. It was nice to have, but it's just like, do I really need it, right? So then I also kind of had experience with a vernis bag at that point. It wasn't the worst, to be honest. It wasn't that bad because this was black. The vernis also was very pretty. It had this speckle. It was kind of like shiny speckle. So it was a really nice bag. Again, this bag is really well made, really nice, microfiber lined, good price. But did I really need it? No. It was sort of just the idea. Again, at one point you have to ask yourself whether, yes, it's a collection. At the end of the day, you might be having more than you need, but like even if it's a collection, do you still really need it, right? Like there are bags that I don't mind having, even if it's just to have it, but there are bags that even having it serve no purpose at all. So it's kind of like one of those. So yeah, I had a bit of a trouble letting it go too because I still really liked it. I still really like looking at it, even as of right now. But yeah, I also feel like this bag didn't really last long. It didn't stay. I don't know if they still sell it, but
No,
they don't,
discontinued.
right? Yeah, so it's sort of one of those things, right? I kind of had a fling with it. As if it's like a relationship
It
at the end of
wasn't
this.
this bad that you had an issue with it as well.
Oh, you know what? Um, yeah, actually, now that you reminded me, I forgot. There was some
Some
tarnishing that
tarnishing
started
that.
happening. Yes, actually, that's why I don't have it anymore. It started tarnishing, but it was actually
Mm.
only on the straps. It was on the straps. So it wasn't on the bag yet.
Hmm.
I noticed it on the straps, and then I took it back to LV. They tried to fix the strap by polishing it. And then I got it back. I felt like nothing has changed. I could have polished it myself too. Like it just felt like they wiped it. So I brought it back again and I complained this time. I'm like, can you please just give me a new strap? Like the bag is fine. Just give me a brand new strap because I cannot. Yeah, that was the first time I ever had any problems with LV tarnishing because none of my LVs in the past have ever had any problems. And also I didn't have the best experience when I brought this one back because at the time I also didn't have my like a long time essay that I had before. It was sort of just anybody that helped me and they didn't really know me. So they even said, again, not the best customer service. They even said that maybe I didn't store it properly, right? I'm like, are you kidding me? I have so many LV bags. None of them have issues. I store them all the same exact way. How is this one the only one that has tarnishing, you know? And it's one of my newest one on top of that. So yeah, I didn't have the best customer service on top of that. Yeah, now that you remind me. But they did eventually replace the strap, which is after that I did rehome it because I'm like, you know what? It's all of those things plus the fact that it's kind of a redundant style in my collection that I didn't really need. But yeah, that was my experience with Vernis, and also one of the kind of like the end of my LV buying journey in a way. Like I kind of didn't really care about LV anymore since I didn't have a good essay anymore as well. Yeah, it's still a looker though. Still a looker.
Yeah, I remember when Jerusha revealed this bag, and I thought, yeah, it's got all the good elements to it. Does Jerusha still have it?
I don't know. I think Jerusha bought it, if not around the same time or a bit after I did, because I'm pretty sure I saw this on. I think I saw this on Holly, and then I saw it on maybe. I think maybe I can't remember if Karis bought it before or after, but like I saw it on one of the YouTubers. There was not too many, right? And then it was not so popular. But you know what? I thought I gave it a shot because it was not really expensive at the time.
That's right.
Yeah, now you can't even get these, like, I guess that's why maybe they don't make it anymore because just the material combo, they have 4 different materials that went into this bag, right? Including the microfiber lining that made it really luxurious in that way. So minus the tarnishing, but that's just the hardware part. So yeah, and even on top of that, if you notice the lock, this S lock is the same lock that they use on Pochette Métis, right? So even the lock is kind of higher end, kind of nice. Yeah, it was a short-lived one. So it became one of my worst studs in a way because I thought I had it all figured out, but nope. It's just one of the redundant piece that I didn't really need. And yeah. So those are our worst duds, I suppose.
Dudleys.
Yeah, they're deadly duds.
Deadly duds.
Dudleys.
Let us know. Okay, so we've been sharing because I did a video. I'm supposed to do part 2. This is like part 2, part 1.5. So let us know, since now you've been hearing us, which is your Dudley dud, your Dudley bag, or your Dudley item or shoe.
You know what? I always give everything a chance, and this is why, I don't really consider any of my things duds until I really, really try so hard and it just never worked. So most of my purchases are just like, they're not the best, therefore they're the worst, but they're not duds necessarily. They just didn't work out, right? Like I tried it, but these are literally try to make it work, try to make it work, try to make it work, never worked, and became duds that way. It's like a lot of highs and lows with these.
for sure. And it's really hard to know for sure until you have the item. So when I did my
Yeah.
video, it's a little bit like gambling, but even because you're like, because it's a lot of money, right? And you think you think it will suit you. You try it out a few times. So unless you have a friend, okay, a friend who has the exact same bag or same shoe or same jewelry piece or same something that you could have for a period of time to say, wow, test it out. You can't be 100% sure. Which is why there's this one company that you can actually rent luxury items for a period, and then if you like it, you can buy it. Is it Restyle Me, or it is I don't know what they're called. Style Book, Restyle Me, where you can actually rent other people's luxury things, or they have their stuff for a period, pay a rental fee, make sure it's still in whatever condition you got it in, and have that opportunity to give it a go, right? I think that's a fantastic idea. Next time I might do that. I might give it a go.
Especially if it's a bag that you really have been thinking for a long time, but there's still I guess if you don't want
Uncertainties.
them to end up like duds.
Yeah.
That way. Yeah, it's kind of funny because for me, I feel like these days I'm pretty good at judging whether something will work out for me, and I go in pretty confidently that it will work out, and therefore I would not just make any purchases lightly anymore. It's usually quite well thought out, and I not only think about whether the bag itself will work for me, but also like whether it will work for the majority of what I wear and when I would wear that bag. Does that make sense? So I feel like I'm pretty good at judging it these days. I don't know. Hopefully I'm right. Like, hopefully I don't have any mini
Yeah.
duds coming up. Hopefully. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so there are some coming up. Okay, VJ says B25. Ooh.
Mm.
Oh, she says it's too big. She's a mini bag girl.
It is big. It is big. I find that 25 is still quite big. I feel like, yeah, the nano is still too small. So maybe the 20 is the perfect size, which of course now they have the 20 many years later and they can open all the way down. Like, duh, how
Wow.
after decades of struggling with the Speedy. Oh yeah, Alma PM is a good one. Oh yeah, this colored. Yeah. PM for
Yep.
me was a big size. To me was too big. Mine was in AP leather, which was actually the best leather to have it in. Vernis for sure, yeah. Tough one.
Oh, LV Petite
Right. I
Chateau.
tried that bag. I even tried it in store, vlogged it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't. For me, the reason is because the odd shape. So it's hard to organize your things because your things will be like, if you put a phone in, it will be either this way or that way. It's like kind of never in the same direction. And that drove me crazy. Yeah. Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
That's my
This
2
bag,
cents. I'm like, let it go.
now that you reminded me, this bag, I did try it, and influence to go and check it out was Caris, because Caris got that bag
Mm,
and she loved it, and I was like, ooh, interesting. And I was already very interested in interesting looking bags. So I
yeah.
tried it in store, and though I liked it, it didn't. I should have added it into my video when I said glad I stopped myself, because there was something about it that I was like, eh. But if I didn't listen to that gut feeling, I think I would have bought that bag as well, because it's different, right? It's interesting. It's round bag. It's pretty easy to get in and out of as also, right? Because they use the softer canvas, so when you open it, you can actually see everything and you can pull things out. It's not like a Speedy where it becomes a deep, dark black hole. This bag was actually usable. But I don't know what was it. I can't remember right now what stopped me. Was it the crossbodiness of it? I don't know. Can't
For me,
remember.
there was definitely two things that are prominent that bugged me right away. So the fact that things would orient different ways, that was one. The second thing is the straps on the sides, because you can adjust it, right? The length. So
Yes.
that
Okay.
was like, it was like weird. It was like pointing, and then I was like on my body, I was just like,
Yes. I think that was one of
aesthetically,
my
it was
things
just
that I
weird
didn't like
looking.
about it. When you adjust the straps, and if you want to make it shorter, it's like a belt. A part of it will be sticking out at the end. I can remember, right? Because if you want to really shorten it, you put it underneath the bag or something. But I remember some parts would stick out.
It would stick out,
It, it,
yeah.
it was something to do with the straps that looked a bit like.
And especially if your strap was creased or folded in any weird way, which will happen if you store it in a certain way, it will like be like either crooked that way or like maybe mangled a little bit. It would look so out of place, even brand new from the store. For me, that was the issue. Like aesthetically, it was not pleasing to me. I think if the strap was not sticking out like that, it would have been fine because the round shape was kind of cute, actually. So sorry, we're not trying to discourage you. We're just trying to say what we
Keep
felt
it,
when
keep
we
it.
tried the bag.
It'll be like my Celine mini luggage. When you look back at it 10 years from now, you'll be like, yeah, I have this round bag. Because she's saying it looks nice on the shelves.
It
I
did.
agree.
It did.
Some
It
bags
did.
just like, you keep it for a while, then you somehow you use it again.
I know.
This is a good one.
Yeah, the Speedy. Okay, so more than like just myself, Speedy people, right? Like that you really tried, and it's just for me, it just never worked out. And yet there are so many Speedy lovers out there, and I'm just like, I don't get it. Why?
Wow, you made some money out of this one. Felicia saying, I bought my Speedy
Wow,
25.
so cheap. Wow.
Wow, double. Good sale.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially if you just sold it recently and it's yeah. For sure. Like some bags, when you keep it long enough with all the increases, you're still going to be able to not just recoup but make money. But yeah, it had to be a really old one, I guess.
Mm, for sure. Has to be quite old. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I am on kind of like more the beginning. For the love of bag, she says, I have the old medium. I think it's the boy bag, and I use it more than a Chanel 22. Oh, good for
Mm,
you. Cool. Yeah, it's still a really cool bag. I think again, it's still relevant because they still sell it in store, but for me, it's really just like, yeah, there was something that didn't work for me, and I think Clara felt that way too. Something about the boy bag was hot for several years, finally influenced to get it. In the end, I parted with it because it didn't suit me, and also the chains were really annoying when I was
mm.
traveling. They were very heavy and needed a lot of rearranging. Yeah, I felt like it was sliding. For me, the sliding drove me crazy too. Um, which actually also I learned from the boy bag. For me, my experience was that I don't like bags that have a sliding chain. So the
Mm.
same thing with the walk. You know, the classic walk, not yours, but the classic walk where the
This
chain
one.
is can move. Yeah. When you can
I
move the
tied
chain.
I tied mine so that it
Okay.
doesn't
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to tie it. Though I would have to tie it too because I don't know why, but even if it's a small bag, even if it's a walk, if it slides, it will drive me crazy too.
I
Yeah.
should put my walk at the back in my background.
From afar, it looks nice.
Oh yeah, from afar it's like a dark green bag, isn't it? Yeah.
From afar, you can tell, and it just looks like a bag.
Badass.
Okay, for the love of bags, I have a medium classic flap in black patent. No stickiness at all. 19 series. Okay, so it must be the weather. Yeah, I think North America is definitely a lot more forgiving compared to Singapore is really like, okay, I've been to Singapore and of course I live in North America, even though Canada is definitely drier, especially in the winter, but like even compared to, I don't know, I'm trying to think where it's like Florida, right? Florida is kind of humid,
Humid.
but
Yep.
I feel like, well, at least Florida, it still gets kind of cold sometimes, but Singapore is like hot all year round, really. Like I was there in the winter and it
It's
was still
hot.
so hot. It was still very, very hot. So I feel like Singapore is definitely like all year round tropical, like near the
It's
equator type
all,
of.
yeah, we're right on the, what's it called? The equator, right?
Yeah, that's
The
what I just said. Yeah. So it's literally like the weather is not forgiving for bags, definitely. And especially if you have certain more sensitive material. Maybe that's why. Because I also didn't really have issues with patent leather, but I am aware that they are more sensitive. But yeah.
oh, the question here at the bottom. What do you guys think of the Dior saddle newsprint? Don't do it. But if you have it, keep it. uh yeah, you know. Firstly, the Dior saddle is also one of those vintage styles that came back. And unless you have the vintage style Dior in the past, like buying it at $300 kind of thing, but now it's so ridiculously expensive. Plus
Mhm.
the newsprint design.
Let's show it. Let me find it.
I actually saw somebody recently bought it. I mean, it's beautiful, I think it's because it's just black and white, so you can think of it like a black and white pattern. But I'm trying to be practical that it will it's gonna be hard to match even though it's black and white because it's loud. It's loud-ish. Yeah, look for it.
Is it this one? Okay, I'm trying. Like, I found something else, but I'm like, it must be this one. This because this is the one on the website. This one, right?
I don't know. They have it now. Is it now? No. Newspaper.
Hmm. Newspaper. You know what? I want to go to Dior saddle. Women's fashion bags. Saddle. No.
Is it a latest design?
Because I saw one with a newspaper print on it, but I thought maybe she meant.
Oh, there it is. No, not that one.
No, that's not it. But that's from like, unless it's not like current, but it's something that you can buy pre-love. Is that? Because I don't see it.
I don't think it's
I
current.
don't see it. Because okay,
Hang
I
on.
did find a newspaper one, but it's not like that one.
Oh, it's
that
new. New York to Paris, apparently.
Huh? New York to Paris.
Yeah. So Jen is saying Meredith just got it. It's New York to Paris. It's a new design. Excuse me for a second. Let me go and grab my phone.
Because okay, you're not referring to this, are you? Let me see. Let me see if I can just change the sharing page. This one. You're not talking about this one, right? This is the one that they have on resale, like this one. It's from 2000. 2000 newspaper saddle. You're not talking about this one, are you? Because I don't see. Oh wait, hold on. Maybe it's this one. This one. Is it this one?
This okay, searching for it.
This one. But this is
Yes.
not 2000 and this is not from. Oh, I guess this is a different print. I see. Because the other one actually have a different newspaper print on it. Like my okay. Okay. Oh.
Oh, it's a relaunch. Oh, okay. So it's a
Yeah,
relaunch.
because there's old ones that they're reselling pre-love, and I'm like, it cannot be that one because it's not new. But this one is, I guess. VIP Dior Fall 2024 bag preview.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
no. It's too trendy. Like if you're like even if you're a blogger, unless you're gifted, don't get it. I mean, if you really love it, I guess, but still, I'd say don't get it because yeah, it's way trendy. This is like more trendy than anything I've seen that's been out. You know, it's sort of like really. I guess for me, the only reason I would buy this is as if New York, Paris has such
Has a
tremendous meaning to
connection to
me.
me. Yeah, like it really means something to me. Like New York, I love the city. Then Paris. Then yeah, I guess I would as a collector item. But for every day, if you just no affinity to these things, then I say you should skip it. Sorry,
Yeah.
Meredith.
Well, it just nothing wrong if you bought it, but like it depends on your values. Like what is that you really want, and what would you get out of this bag? Is it just like a trending moment? Then okay, if that's
Mm,
fine to you, then sure, go ahead. But if you usually value like longevity and like timelessness, and you want a collection that is kind of like more conservative, well-rounded, but that will last for a long time, then no, the answer is no for sure.
yeah. Yeah. Meredith's a collector. She likes the different bags, which is why for her it's if I was a if I was still a collector like her, not in that same capacity, I can see value in it because it's different. It's Dior saddle. It's still black and white, so it's still pretty neutral. And it's and newspapers like it's kind of vintagey, right? Because who reads newspapers anymore? But anyway, yeah,
My
I can see the
parents.
value in it. But for most people, like I'd say you might get tired of it over time. For the everyday folk
Yeah.
like us.
Nat says, during COVID, I neglected my purple EP Noe. These days, this week, she's back at work after maternity leave, and she loves
Mm,
using it because it's not monogram. Yeah, it's EP is such a great leather. I still really love it. I don't have any piece in AP anymore, but I did have a couple for a long time. Yeah, because I had it on my PM for a long time, although I didn't really use that bag. Too big. And then I had the Alma BB version in AP as well. That one I had for a lot longer before I parted with it. But yeah, best kind of like um kind of like the same family as Epsom and like stamp, right? Stamp leather, it's
mm.
structure, it's
Like the
relatively
Prada's,
easy to take care and
what's
can
that
be
leather
rained on
called?
and no like wipe it.
Saffiano leather.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't like the look of
it's
Saffiano though.
it's very
It's very
stiff.
plasticky.
Yeah.
AP is
Okay.
nicer.
I think
Epsom is
FB's
nicer.
as the stamping is not so. It's like not Yeah, not so plasticky lah. NK is
Mhm.
asking, what do you think of the Coach quilted tabby?
Is it the one that it must be the one. Is it the one that Jerusha just unboxed before she left? I like it. Is it that one?
I
I like
think
that one.
so. I think it's that one. But yeah, I am actually quite interested in getting a little Coach tabby. I have been checking out their website, and it's not that expensive. I'm thinking of getting one for work, which is like Coach, not like HERMES. Yeah, I can carry it for work. The price is decent. I love the compartments. It's got an outer compartment, it's got an inner compartment. But surprisingly, the reviews are not that great on it because I did check it out. I mean, even though it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. I saw some reviews that they said that it's not as well made as another bag. So there's something called, I'm not so good at my Coach brand. Madison, I think that's another name that's called Madison. So the Madison is apparently made better, so I'll check that one out. But yes, I really like it. Like, okay, look, it's got a back compartment. Yep. Then in the front, it has a front compartment that's closed as well. It's not bad.
Yeah, that's exactly the same one that Jerusha just unboxed recently.
Right. I saw it in the airport, but not this size. This size is a little too small for work. They have a size up. It's almost like not a jumbo, a little bit bigger than a medium. Good size.
I'll give you my 2 cents, and that is not having handled it personally. I just based on pictures, and I did watch Jerusha's video. I remember she talking about the different sections and the flap. That is actually something I don't like, actually, because it's not that I don't like compartments, but I find that on such a small size bag, this is quite tiny, right? Having those extra compartments, this is basically 3 compartments plus the last one on the back, which is 4 compartment. The back compartment is fine, but the inside should not be divided this much. You're taking up all the space for no reason when you can have a bigger compartment and just be able to organize in a small space enough already, which will all be basically, they're all basically going to line up perfectly fine. So that's one thing I don't like about it myself. Based on my own experience with all kinds of bags I've had so far, right? I don't like this kind of layout for small bags. Bigger bags may be a different story, but small bags like this is quite mini, actually. This is a mini bag to me.
It's really small. It's like a rectangular mini.
So it's too small for having these kinds of compartments, in my opinion. If you want my 2 cents, that would be okay.
Yeah, so the bigger
if it
size
was
is
the
better.
larger size, maybe it's okay.
Yeah,
but that
it's better.
mini,
It's better.
That mini is too small.
Okay, since you're on the Coach site, look at their new bags. So they have an exact copy of the latest Chanel backpack. So let's take a look. Look for bags. Backpack or something.
Backpack?
Yeah, it's so similar. So
That's
people
kind of
don't
cute. I like the
don't waste
fringe
your
one.
money on maybe they don't have it in Canada yet. Oh, there it is. There it is. Pluck it out. Yes. It's exactly the same as the one that is available in Chanel now. Exactly. Get this. $610. Don't pay $9,000. Seriously. Coming from me, who has 2 as a luxury backpack owner, get the cheaper one.
It has the little turn locks in the front.
It's exactly the same. I'm telling you. This is so good. I would totally buy. And even the straps are the same. Like a little chain detailing with the leather Chanel has the exact same one this season for the Mitida collection. It looks the same.
I will caution, however, don't get it just because it's the same design. Get it because you love a backpack and a mini size to be. Because yeah, like I wouldn't get it just because I've noticed that I've tried backpacks in luxury bags many times and I'm not into it. It's just like such a like unless you wear it crossbody, it's such a cumbersome thing to always have to bring your bag over to the front. I'm just not into it. So that would be the
Yeah.
only caution I would give you as like I know it's cute, like it's such a cute design. It kind of reminds you of the current design they have at Chanel, but still it's still $610 plus tax that you don't need to spend if you're not really into it, right?
Yeah, but if you are thinking about a backpack, I'm telling you, don't do it. Buy the Coach one because it is not worth 9,290 Singapore dollars.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah,
I know.
if you like a backpack and you want a backpack, you want a luxury backpack, don't do Chanel now. It's just silly money to spend on a backpack. Get your fix from Coach.
Actually, speaking of Chanel, right? And speaking of backpacks, let's go back to speaking of that, I will have to say, even though there is some stuff going on right now with and I even just reposted on my Instagram, I will say if you want a Chanel backpack, this year right now is literally the best time to buy pre-love. There are so many. I'm not even joking. So many. The even the one that I was interested in before, the one I can't remember the style now, but it's just the backpack, right, with the flap, and then it's what is it called again?
The Urban Spirit backpack.
Is it the Urban? I think it is the Urban Spirit. It's so cheap. It's actually cheaper than retail, even the retail back then. It's like 4,000-ish to get it. 5 maybe. So half price of the current retail ones. And if you ask me, the Urban Spirit is kind of the style that I like more in a backpack design. I think the ones right now, it's not that they're ugly or anything. It's not like that. But the extra compartments on the outside, I find them redundant. They're so small. And evidently it boils down to the current price, which is unreasonable, which would be the ultimate reason why I won't buy it. But like in the pre-love right now, you can find so many Chanel backpacks, so cheap. I'm not tempted, but I do see the prices and I'm just like mind blown at how much it's available out there right now.
Yeah. So don't buy the retail backpack. It's just when I saw the new price, I said this is a robbery because it's a backpack. Like nearly $10,000 for a backpack. Oh my gosh. No, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's cute, but seriously, psycho.
For the lover bag, she also sold her Speedy 25 bandoulière. Yeah, I never could work with that bag either. Don't know why. Eileen still has her 30 classic. How much is the Deauville now? You know what? I was just checking out the newest collection. So the one that is launching next week, it's on the website now. So just for fun, I'm going to show you how much it is now. It's like,
Is it a large shopping? It's 10,000.
Oh yeah, but 10,000 with tax,
though.
exactly, with tax. Well, here they show pre-tax, but I was just looking at it earlier and I was just like, are you kidding me? Okay, let me just share my screen.
I only see 2 though.
Possibly. Yeah, let me just share my screen because this is literally they just posted today, right? So this is in the
Mm,
shopping bag section.
yeah.
There's these two only. So I'm sure they have different sizes because these are the only two they have online. But like, okay, the fabric one, 7,050. So after tax, 8,000. Not worth it. I mean, it's kind of fun. I like the fabric on this one actually. I like the denim, the way they did this denim. I like it. Let's see. If I click here, this is from the last season, like last season. So it's not really the current one, and you can't buy it probably because it's sold out. So really, the current one with this fabric, 7,000 plus tax, right? And then they have also this leather version was, yeah, this is well over 10,000 after tax. It's cool, but yeah, too much money. Too much money for what it is, for sure.
Yeah. No.
And this is not even like the extra large size, right? This is the one with the 20-inch width, 19.5, 19.5, 8.6 inch, and then, oh, sorry, 19.5, 11.7, and then 8.6 width. So yeah, it's a lot. And the price did everything increased in price too. Everything. I don't know if we should even look at the classic flap. It's probably too much to even look at. Let's see if we can just quickly search it. Just for fun. Oh, they don't even have a normal one to look at. I just want to look at a normal
At the
one.
bottom. Usually it's all the way at the bottom.
Okay, well, there's this large, so which looks more like a jumbo. I want to see like a, let's say a medium or a small. Oh, yeah, mini. Okay, small, right? Small.
Mm.
Yeah, after tax is like 15. It's too much.
Who wants to buy mine? 10,000.
You're
No,
selling yours now?
no. Mine's perfect.
Yeah, it's too much. And so this is for a small, which is not really that big, right? So imagine the medium and the large. Ugh, too much. Too much.
Let's see, Chanel Classics. But you know what? I do want to get a wallet from Chanel. I saw one new wallet, like a small wallet. Because I'm still on my hunt on my long wallet, but long wallets are too much. Small wallet, too small is that. So I found this nice size. But wow, they have gone up in price. It's like almost $2,000. Maybe I should just get Coach. I think Coach is the way to go now. Repurchase my Coach wallet, the one that finally gave up on me. Maybe I should do that. Yeah. Gosh.
Actually,
Insane.
speaking of wallet, my long Coach wallet a long time ago was the one that I used the longest and definitely got my money's worth the most. Because I think with wallets, if you buy one that is like, say you buy one that is like, say like the Constant Slim. Oh no, sorry, Constance to go that I have, right? Let's say not the, yeah, either to go or not to go. It's just $1,000 difference, but they're like a $9,000 wallet, right? They are massively expensive. You're not gonna throw that around ever. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna get your cost per wear. Not like the same way you would with a regular wallet. Even with even with a Chanel wallet that costs maybe 2,000-3,000, you're still gonna get more cost per wear with those than your very, very expensive ones. So yeah, get your wallet already.
I know. I know. Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, so the classic flap is $15,000.
Yeah,
The small
after
one.
tax. After tax.
Wow. You know,
Much.
if I were to sell, okay, we're just chatting, but I'm not selling. But if I were to sell my small classic flat today, say I think I bought it for 10,000. I bought it obviously when it went up already. Say if I sell it for 11, think anybody will buy it? Anybody will buy it? Any of you would buy my bag for 11,000? I'm gonna make a bit of profit out of it.
I think people are still buying. Definitely, and I think the buying rush is a little bit slowed down now. Like people definitely take a lot longer to think about things now, but someone will buy it. Yeah, someone who's looking for a black one will buy it. Yeah.
A black, small caviar. Perfect. Not even pristine. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Hardly touched. Kept like an icon in my cupboard. Like, woo. Yeah. At 15. I don't think I would buy that bag at 15.
No, I know. Even like, and I know we do buy our Hermes, but even then, it's like it is still a
Night
heart
and
attack
day.
every time. It is still a heart attack,
Yeah,
right? Like
it's
it's not just the amount of the bag because you did have to do all that pre-spend and work and time spent to get to it. Even then, it's like a lot. But then, I don't know, the Chanel one. I think Chanel is just kind of like you have to at least go through Chanel to go through that. I feel like that's how it is, right? Like
I'm gonna train you to spend a little bit more.
basically, yeah. I know brand depreciation makes me so sad as well. I think it would make anybody sad because you never want to see that. Not like this level of like Celine level depreciation is quite sad.
Bro, Scheiße. Right? It seems like a steal now. What a steal.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's just last year. Come on. It's just last year. Yeah, every price increase really jumps. There's a big difference because we were talking big amounts here, right? Almost sometimes 5 digits because like after tax is like basically it. And then currency conversion for us especially, right?
My goodness. Anyway.
Are we actually into the saddlebag these days? Like, I'm just wondering.
I guess they're bringing it out again. Oh, where was it that I saw? I can't remember which IG that I saw or something that one of the luxury brands is having a price reduction. Is it YSL?
I don't know.
Does anybody remember? Was it under Purse Bob or something that they said that one of the luxury brands adjusted their pricing, but down. It went down because it's a strategy,
and it's not
right?
A currency adjustment, right?
No.
Mm.
They said, okay, we might have priced ourselves out of the market, like, or something, and now they've gone down. I think it's okay. Thank you. It's YSL. Oh, maybe I should go YSL and get my wallet. That's right. I'll get my wallet from YSL. Cheaper now.
YSL is quite nice. I like YSL. It somehow has that. It has somewhat of the allure of Chanel without the price tag of Chanel.
Every time we have one of these chats, she wants to run to the closet and kiss my bag. I know.
Yes, I know how you feel. Like I mean, I just did my final collection video because I've been procrastinating, right? Like my final collection video updated for this year, and I just literally I'm looking at it. I'm like, you know what? You're so nice, and I'm, there are some that were, departed from my collection, and that's fine. But whatever is still there, they are solid, and they're just. And I couldn't believe, like, sometimes you look at one of your oldest bags and you're like, that was just a few years ago, not even that long ago. And how could the price more than double now? It's like, what? It's insane. Of course, I'm referring to the mini flaps.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously?
Crazy.
Annie, I know, right? I will never use any big bags like the Chanel Deauville tote. I would rather use a Longchamp. Same. I feel like, okay, it's not even just a matter of I don't really use big bags that often. It's also like, if I use a big bag, why do I need a Deauville, right? Obviously, that's what I thought before. And I went through that, and that was a mistake. Didn't work out. But even till this day, the biggest size I could go for is the 22. And like Kat said, 22 is not like that big. Even you have a medium, so which is already bigger than mine, but like it's not like that big because it still has a slim profile. I think the design of a larger bag still has to make sense. And otherwise they will just be extra bulk and extra weight that you have to fill. Because that's what I love about the 22. And it's not about the 22 bag this video, but the 22, even if you don't fill it, it looks completely fine. And that's what I love about it. It's so versatile. Yeah. It's one of those things that if I didn't have a 22, I would just go Longchamp also. Like, totally agree.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have what's this? Maybe we'll have a Coach unboxing one day.
Yeah, why not?
I am really interested in it. Yeah, I'll do it in a live. I'm really interested in it, but for work, like what I want, because sometimes it's really not so good to bring your very expensive handbags to the office. Not that you can't, but for me, sometimes it's like, I don't want to deal with this right now. Then just carry a simple, bag, stuff your things, and Coach is acceptable, like worldwide is acceptable, office appropriate.
Oh yeah, Coach has really nice leather. And they have cute designs. Mind you, they are usually inspired, but it still makes them cute. NK says, I bought a pre-loved Celine Triomphe shoulder bag for 1,650 while it was 4,800. Yeah. Oh my God. That's such a good deal. I think that's one of those things, like if you really love a design and you can find it out there pre-love, especially nowadays. Nowadays, the pre-love market definitely slowed down. So it's one of the best times to buy like the example of your example, and then the example of the Chanel backpack. I was mind blown at how many beautiful Chanel backpacks out there are so cheap. It's like not even funny. Corinne, for a campus tote, maybe garden party might be worth it. Yeah, I think so.
If you can get one in store. Oh, actually, no. Pre-loved garden party pre-loved
it's not too bad. The premium is not too bad. Yeah. Oh, is that a question? Comments on the Bottega small or teen Jody. Will it be a dud? Teen Jody is really small, right? It's like even smaller.
The teen, I think
so.
I think
those are really small.
Dud. Future duds.
But
being
no one
ruthless here, okay? Ruthless.
I think with the Jody, even the regular size Jody, you have to contend with the rounded zipper. It's so hard to get in and out.
Yeah.
Because I tried it. I never bought it, but I tried it. And I just, when your first impression is bad already, it's usually not a good idea to go forward.
Like Shiza says, gotta be honest, it's gonna be a dud. It's gonna be a dud. It's one of those things, right? You think you'd be like, oh, it's so cute. I can carry it as a clutch. Great for going out, events, weddings, dinners. dud. Future dud.
Yeah, YSL is good. Go buy your wallet there. Future unboxing.
Okay. Actually, I already know what I want there. It's just that I haven't haven't found the time. I'm kind of like coaching it. I'm like, I shouldn't spend more than $1,000. Not even 500, which is why
500?
it's either
That's gonna
YSL
be
or
hard.
Coach. yeah, that's why it's either YSL or Coach, right? Even if I'm trying to buy, say, let's say LV, there's none. Everything is a lot because
Mhm.
everything's gone up, like really, really gone up. So brands that are still, acceptable and reasonable, trying to rob you. Coach is actually reasonable, and I loved my old wallet. The only thing is they've sort of changed the design a little bit. It used to be I had that. Remember I showed it, right? It's kind of like the zippy wallet of the LV. I loved it. It's a good size. They had a very small emblem there, just that says Coach. Now the same wallet, which I saw, it's gone up a little bit. I think it's 700 now. Ooh, Coach. But they put the logo, the big C there now, which
It's too big. Too chunky.
it's too big. Yeah, it's too big. So
Yeah.
not
I
that it
love the
matters.
so you know what? That was before I started YouTube, so I never really could show my entire Coach collection back then. But all the bags that I bought from Coach back in the days, they were all the ones with the turn lock, just the turn lock. And if there was
Mm.
any logo, it would just say like in very small letters, like very small font, embossed usually Coach. That's it.
Yep.
And I find that I find all of those styles back then when I used to buy Coach to be so timeless, which is why I
Mm.
fell in love with the brand because at the time, at least during the period that I started buying Coach, they were not all crazy. Like they had the monogram. I never bought the monogram, but they these days with the big chunky hardware, like the big C, that's like a bit too extra. I feel like I wish they went back to their heritage, which is just either that turn lock or maybe I mean even the monogram would be fine. I think it's just there's a bit for everybody, right? A bit of both, but the chunky C is really too big. It's too big.
Mm. And they did it on the wallet, so it's like,
Yeah, that's too
which is
much.
why I was like, oh, maybe, but thinking. Maybe I'll have to look at it in real life. Then we'll have a Coach unboxing. Cat's wallet finally be like, finally. We got a
Actually, now
question
that
from
I think of
Justin.
it, right? I'm thinking about my old Coach collection that I used to have.
Mm.
Um, they're all so nice. They're all pebbled leather. There was one patent leather that I bought, which is like a huge kind of like that rounded slouchy hobo. Um, Honestly, if I compared any of those bags to what we have here now in the luxury, like the high luxury brands, they would be considered so nice. Like they would be considered quiet luxury at this point if I still had that collection. They were so nice, the bags that I used to have. Nothing like the stuff that we see nowadays. Like the tabby, you know what? Again, I didn't like the tabby inside. The inside I don't like. And then the big C outside is a bit too much. Yeah, but it is just
The Roma.
is it gonna be a future dad?
Which bag is
Hmm.
this? Let me check.
That's the one that's like all I can say is like the one that Tamara has, right? It's like but we should show it here.
Which one is it?
There's different sizes. Let's see if I can find the it's not really the official site. Let's go to the official site. I like the official site better. This one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Tamara has it. So this is one of them. Let's share my screen. This is the size 15. So it looks like that.
Oh.
It's like they say it's like the kind of like the Birkin, but not really. Is there another size? Let's see if I can find. Is there a search button? Let's see if I can just go here. No, I can't. Let's see. Top handle? No. Oh, I guess there's like the East West. Oh, there's all these. The smaller size, the 15, the 12. I'm guessing that's inch. And then there's like kind of East West kind of. There's a 17. I think she has like a really big one. It's maybe the 17.
How much is it?
Wow. Let's go with the 15. Maybe that's like a more normal size, right? Like a 15. 7,000 before tax. If you want like more, like the 17, that's 8,000 before tax. It's expensive. Let's click on this one. So this size is more like a large size, right? So after tax, 9,000.
I think from a style look, right? When I look at this, because it's clean enough, right? There's not much embellishments. It's a basic bag. I think it can stand the test of time. As in, like, it may not be a dud. It would be a dud if you're buying it and you don't have a need for such a big bag. So if I look at this bag as just a regular shoulder tote bag, I can imagine wearing this when I'm old as well. Like 10 years from now, it'll still be relevant, right? As I'm kind of comparing it to like the Dior Saddle newspaper. Between the two,
there's no comparison.
Yeah, but in terms of relevancy, right? It just looks like you can use this for a long time. That one, it will look dated. Whereas this would not look dated. But it could be a dud because it's pretty big. Like, I know from the front is a big bag, but the side profile, I'm looking at the side, is so
It's
wide.
quite wide.
Yeah, so it's almost like a mini luggage, like my mini luggage. One of my problems with my mini luggage is that it was too big of a base. The size itself, the base was just that it just felt like everything was rolling inside. It could be a dud in your lifestyle. But from a style, I don't see it being a dud from a style perspective. From a style, it's just bag. But yeah, it's too expensive. I agree. Let's go back to Coach. Coach, can you imitate Margot? Make a Margot.
The way I see it is so regardless of the size, right? Because they're not really that far apart in terms of pricing. They're just maybe like 1,000 per size difference, right? The way I see it is that this brand, especially the Row, right? It's a very like it's a very targeted brand to people that like kind of minimal logos and just not recognizable everywhere. And so you would only buy it for that reason, I think, right? Unless you're going for specifically this size bag because you have a need for it. I also don't see it as a dud, but at the same time, I don't know, like the way this kind of bag will wear, just because of the texture of the leather, it's more soft, right? It's softly structured, it says. It will wear like that. It's like gonna be always kind of crinkle, a bit slouchy. It's sort of that vibe, and it's gonna age that way. Is that something that you're looking to have to own for a long time? that's something you have to ask yourself, because you may not be into that look anymore in a while, and that can become a dud. If you don't use it, it's a dud, right? You might have all
Yeah.
these high hopes. And frankly speaking, even for this size, which is the smallest one, kind of like your handbag size, is still very expensive. Um,
Yeah.
there's so many more things you can buy with that kind of money if you're not after specifically the row vibe or this kind of minimal design, right? Like there's just so much choice out there that you don't have to go with it. So yeah, I'm pretty sure tomorrow has like one of the larger sizes.
Yeah, I think I
And
saw her the big one.
of course for her it's, I see more as like, for her, I see her using it more as a lifestyle bag. Like she travels with it, and she does. I mean, she's always traveling, right? So I see why she would need something like that, and that she wouldn't mind having something like that. And even if one day she doesn't use it anymore, she's already gotten so much wear out of it that it wouldn't matter if it's a dud or not, right? Like it's just what it is. She's had it and she's used it. That's good enough. Whereas I think for us, it's a little bit different. We don't have that kind of lifestyle. So can we get that kind of wear and joy out of it many, many years down the road? That's something you have to ask yourself.
Mm. You know, this feels like a little bit like history repeating itself. When I got into Celine, when Celine, the old Celine, right, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was like the role. Every people who knows is you got the same feel, right? If you know, you know, or like if you buy the more expensive, very quiet Celine brand, and then now fast forward to today, there's no value to the Celine bags. Firstly, it's changed. So if value of a bag is something that's important to you, yes, then this will be a dud. Okay, I'm telling you, it's gonna be a dud from a value perspective. I don't see this fetching you 10% in the future. I'm sorry, Doro.
Oh no, you would
Sorry.
maybe, yeah. And I don't think people buying this brand would really resell it necessarily. That's the thing, right? It's such a different type of market. I think we're looking at it because, of course, we want to consider everything, right? And then we see it on social media. You do get influence, and then you do wonder, like, oh, maybe this is a good something else to add to. It's like you're always after something fun and new, right? Like that's just human nature, and that's fine. But um maybe a little bit less relevant for us because we don't have the same lifestyle. We don't have the same need for something like this. And yeah, it could be a Dudley mistake, I guess. That would be what I would say. Like if
It'll
you
be
get this.
Dudley. Dudley will be a deadly dud.
It's sort of just like in the heat of the moment, you might be excited and then it's gone. I think this would be even easier to become a dud than like the Chanel Deauville, for example. I think because with the Chanel Deauville, like if I resold it today, especially because when I bought it back then, I remember it was retail under 4,000 before tax. So after tax, maybe around 4,000. So it's
Mhm.
considered cheap these days, right? Like if I resold it today, I would still make money. With this, for sure, you can't do that. It wouldn't have that kind of power to
No, it'll
do that.
doom.
Anyway, this is not really a lesson to like, resell or anything. But yeah, it was a fun chat. Let
But
me
if any
just
of you have this bag, just use it. I'm saying that if you're thinking about it, you're like, then you probably got to consider a lot of things because the starting price is high. Like it's unlike if it was say $2,000, okay, it's still a lot of money, yeah. But we're talking about luxury. But if it's $2,000, you can you can gamble a little bit. But at 6 to 7 to 8,000, that's where you go like,
Yeah.
woo.
I would totally buy pre-love if this was something that was available pre-love for like half the price. Maybe. Maybe I would buy, but only if I need it. I don't need this
Half?
size bag,
No,
so I
I
wouldn't
won't
buy
do
it.
half. Sorry. Bless 30%.
Yeah. Okay. 30%. My point is, I would only buy it if it was a lot cheaper and someone else owned it, but it, they resold it quickly and it's still brand new, basically. That's how I would buy it because, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little too much. I think these days everything is overpriced. It is, but
Mhm.
that's why whatever we buy is very much pick and choose, very much. Anyway, thank you so much for spending your weekend, your Friday with us. We'll see you again next week, members. And yeah, the calendar is already up on our community posts. And yeah, if you don't follow us already, please do, because that's how you can catch up
Oh,
with
and
us.
yeah, and we have an extra because this is June is a 5-week month. So there's one extra public live, but that live, if you look at our calendar, is going to be the next morning. So it's actually, is it morning? Yeah, it's Sunday here. But we got Isabel and we got Clara joining us. So it is so hard to catch their time. So I really, really hope that you can join that session. It will be fun to see Isabel. She hasn't joined us for more than a year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually still May here, but yeah, it's but yeah, just make sure you join us and follow us. And yeah, as long as you're subscribed, you will see when the videos go up. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Have a
Bye.
good weekend.